كفروا إن هذا إلا إفك افتراه وأعانه عليه قوم آخرون فقد جاءوا أساطير الأولين اكتتبها فهي تملى عليه بكرة وأصيلا قل أنزله الذي يعلم السر في السماوات والأرض إنه كان غفورا رحيما وقالوا ما لهذا الرسول يأكل الطعام ويمشي في الأسواق لولا أنزل إليه ملك فيكون عنه نذيرا أو يلقى إليه كنز أو تكون له جنة يأكل منها وقال الظالمون إن تتبعون إلا رجلا مسحورا فضلوا فلا يستطيعون سبيلا تبارك الذي إن شاء جعل لك خيرا من ذلك جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ويجعل لك قصورا بل كذبوا بالساعة وأعتدنا لمن كذب بالساعة سعيرا إذا رأتهم من مكان بعيد سمعوا لها تغيظا وزفيرا وإذا ألقوا منها مكانا ضيقا مقرنين دعوا هنالك ثبورا لا تدعوا اليوم ثبورا واحدا ودعوا ثبورا كثيرا قل أذلك خير أم جنة الخلد التي وعد المتقون كانت لهم جزاء ومصيرا
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ رسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وبين لنا القرآن وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek His blessings upon the noblest of mankind, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-mab'uth rahmatan lil alameen, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent as mercy to the all mankind, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We also extend the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon the companions, those who fought and sacrificed their soul only for Islam to be triumphant. One of the scholars, so he was eulogizing the Sahaba and he was warning us, especially those of us that we are not among the companions. And he said, وَقُولْ خَيْرَ قَوْلٍ في صحابة كلهم as part of the things that you should understand as a Muslim, if you want to be among the successful ones. It says, وَقُلْ خَيْرَ قَوْلٍ فِي صَحَابَةِ كُلِّهِمْ. Always say good things regarding the companions of the Messenger of Allah. Because some of us, if we were to be alive then, during the time of Prophet Muhammad, considering the fitna, our trials and the likes, some of us, we might have turned over, meaning that we might have left Islam because of what they have done. And the scholar says, وَكُلُّ خَيْرَ قَوْلٍ فِي الصَّحَابَةِ كُلِّهِمْ. Always say good things regarding the companions of the Messenger of Allah. If not for the companions, this Quran that we are reading now would not have had the opportunity of reading them. And he said, وَلَا تَكُنْ طَعَانًا تَعِيبٌ وَتَجْرَحُ. Don't be among those people that abuse the Sahaba. Ustadh was explaining to us regarding the Shia. He used to abuse the Sahaba a lot. Even Abu Bakr, who happens to be the best among the companions, they antagonized him as what? As one of the idols of Quraysh. And he was warning that وَكُلُّ خَيْرَ قَوْلٍ فِي الصَّحَابَةِ كُلِّهِمْ وَلَا تَكُنْ طَعَانًا تَعِيبُ وَتَجْرَحُ. That you abuse them and you reduce their status. That is why you will see some people, if they don't understand the importance of the Sahaba. Because if you don't respect the Sahaba, then automatically you will not respect the Messenger of Allah. You will not respect him. If you don't respect the Sahaba, then automatically, so you will not respect the Messenger of Allah. So part of the belief of Ahlul Sunnah is that we extend the blessing. After searching the blessing for the Messenger of Allah, we are seeking for the Messenger of Allah. We also extend that blessing to the companions. May Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept them. And part of the Sunnah too is that our fathers that have gone, our fathers, even though they might have some errors and the likes, even we, after we have gone, some people will still say some things about us. Then part of the Sunnah too is that we also pray for our fathers. Either they got it right excellently or not, because we are all human beings. It's only Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is perfect. لا يذل ربي ولا ينسى. Allah will never make error. ولا ينسى. And Allah will never forget. But as for human beings, even the most knowledgeable among the scholars, at times they err. So we should pray for them, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us in Surah Al-Hashr. وَالَّذِينَ جَاءُوا مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ. Those who came after them, يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا. They said, "Oh Allah, اغفر لنا, forgive us, وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَا بِالْإِيمَانِ, and also forgive our brothers among the fathers, الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَا بِالْإِيمَانِ, those that have gone before us in Iman, starting from our father." It is a criminal offense for someone to look at the elderly ones among our fathers that has gone and just be talking to them anyhow. Yes, agreed, it's possible they might have made some mistakes and the likes. So it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is perfect. Lillahi wahdahu al-kamal. Perfection belongs only to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us take this as plan. So inshallah, so we will be explaining one of the surah of the Quran that the scholars of Islam have said a lot about it, and that is Surah Al-Furqan. So virtually, Surah Al-Furqan is one of the surah that has a lot of lessons that we can gain from it rather. Because one, it contains anything that has no tawheed in it, that is, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such thing cannot stand. That is why when you are starting dawah with people, preaching to people, the scholars have agreed that you should start from where? From tawheed. Tawheed is the bedrock. When you read in the story that some of the companions, they were sacrificing their soul for the Messenger of Allah, especially in Battle of Uhud. at the point of killing the Messenger of Allah, the Sahaba, they were the one putting their head, their chest, just to, they prefer that they died instead of the Messenger of Allah. And he did that, many of them died because of that. So, by the virtue of that, so one, we should respect the Sahaba of the Messenger of Allah. At the same time, it is very, very important that we know that this surah also entails tawheed that will make all other things in Islam to be easier for us. If there is no tawheed that is very, very strong, if you are being asked to spend, you will not spend because what's the essence of spending? But when you have the tawheed that on the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply the reward for you, then you will spend. That is why the bedrock of everything, the foundation is tawheed. If the tawheed is faulty, then every other thing is just like you are just laboring in vain. That is why the Messenger of Allah, when he sent a particular companion, I think Mu'adh ibn Jabal, to the people of Yemen, and he told them, إِنَّكَ تَأْتِ قَوْمًا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. Now I sent you to the people among the people of the book. You will meet them there. فَلِيَكُنْ أَوَّلُ مَا تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَيْهِ شَهَادَةَ اللَّهِ إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. The first thing that you should teach them, that you should let them know, is Shahadat Allah ilaha illallah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. That is why when you see people during the month of Ramadan, they say, please, I want to fast, Ustadh, can I fast? They're just deceiving themselves. The first thing that you qualify that will make that fasting to be acceptable is for them to accept Islam. He says the first thing that you should call them to is what? Shahadat Allah ilaha illallah. He said, وَإِذَا أَطَعُوكَ لِذَلِكَ. When they accept that, they understood it and they followed you, then فَأَخْبِرُهُمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ افْتَرَضَ عَلَيْهِمْ خَمْسَ صَلَوَاتٍ. Then let them know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made compulsory upon them خَمْسَ صَلَوَاتٍ to observe salah. So all these things are level by level. So this surah, Surah Al-Furqan, it entails what has to do with tawheed, because that is the foundation of every success. And at the same time, it also entails some other adab regarding the fact that it is possible that you will meet or see some people that will antagonize you in the course of following Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of us in our family, we have those people that will, that will be abusing or that. What kind of beard is this? Look at your beard. You are just looking at like old people. If it is trousers, they may be abusing you that why is your trousers so jumping like this among the people in your family and even in the environment. When you see a sister using hijab, niqab, you will see people that will antagonize her for that. So these are part of the lessons that we are going to learn in this verse. That as a Muslim, we have to be steadfast. Provided that you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to be steadfast in everything that you are doing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened this surah. This surah is a surah to Makkiyah. That means it was revealed to Allah's Messenger sallallahu while he was in Makkah. And we know that among the features of the surah of Makkiyah is that among the features, that is the attributes of surah to Makkiyah, is that mostly they used to be very, very short in terms of the verses. They are not like Surah Al-Baqarah, Ali Imran, Nisa. Those ones are very, very long. So in nature, they used to be very short. That is why virtually the surah from Amma to Nas, so they are virtually Makkiyah surah, except for very few like Surah Al-Nas and the likes. So this surah too, Surah Furqan, is also one of the Makkiyah surah. So that was revealed to the Messenger of Allah while he was in Makkah. And that is why you will see that most of the lessons in it, there are things that has to do with what? With tawheed, with the belief in Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's Surah Makkiyah. And the second thing is the name of the surah. The name of the surah, that is Surah Al-Furqan. In the Tafseer, most of the surah of the Quran, the names are taken from the surah itself. From the surah itself. Like Surah Al-Baqarah, for example. Surah Al-Baqarah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned what in that surah? Now?
وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم إن الله يأمركم أن تذبحوا بقرة.
So Allah mentioned Baqarah in Surah Al-Baqarah. إن الله يأمركم أن تذبحوا بقرة. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Baqarah. The same thing in Surah Al-Imran, that is the next surah.
إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين.
Now that is in Surah Al-Imran. So when you read from the beginning to the end of that surah, so mostly, so you will see where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the name of that surah. So some surah at the first verse or the second verse will have seen it. So you will need to read to the middle of that surah, like Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Al-Imran and the rest. As for Surah Al-Furqan, at the first verse of that surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the name of the surah, and that is Surah Al-Furqan. Allah says,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
So that is the name. تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان. So that is the name of the surah, Surah Al-Furqan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts this surah with Tabaraka. So what do we mean by Tabaraka? So they say Tabaraka is, the root of Tabaraka is from the word Baraka. There's virtually all of us know even those that are not Muslims, they used to use that word. And when you say Baraka, in relation to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in relation to human being is not the same. So barakah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that is given barakah to people. But we are seeking for Allah's barakah. And when we say barakah, when you are wealthy and you don't have Islam, that thing that you are doing, there is no barakah in it. That is why one of the poets, he said, Ma ahsana dina wa dunya idha ijtama'a. Ma baraka Allahu fi dunya bila din. He said, what an excellent combination. Ma ahsana dina wa dunya idha ijtama'a. What an excellent combination. When someone can combine the worldly things and at the same time he also combined effectively even the hereafter. The deen, he is very, very religious. He is also a doctor. Being a doctor is worldly profession, right? At the same time, he is also a scholar of Islam. He is a lawyer. He is also an hafiz. She is a nurse. She is also murabbiya or hafidah. He says, Ma ahsana dina. What an excellent combination. Ad-dunya wa deen idha ijtama'a. When the worldly profession and the deen are combined together, then it says, Ma barakallahu fi dunya bila deen. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not put barakah. That means there won't be any blessing in that dunya that will combine together. That you have. You're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're an accountant, and all this and that, all this profession. FCA, ACA, OON, and the likes. He says, Ma barakallahu fi dunya bila deen. Allah will not put barakah. That is why when we are asking for barakah, barakah means when the bedrock of barakah is that you are someone that is practicing the deen effectively, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also complemented that with what is the worldly affairs. That is why Baraka ordinarily, you will not ask people. Ordinarily, before you eat, you will not ask anybody. Allah will be doing it for you according to your portion. And the deen is still there, certainly. So anything that you are doing that the deen is alien from it, then such thing has no value. If someone is working and he thought that, because what we attribute to barakah mostly is that when you see people having very big house, mansion, cars, Jeep, Lexus, the latest car, the like, in fact, all over the full barakah, you share the barakah to work. So we are asked, the barakah is a so if he's not worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that is the beginning of the removal of that barakah. Allah talks about some people in Surah Al-An'am, I think. Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَمَا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ
فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ
فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ
فلما نسوا ما ذكروا به فتحنا عليهم أبواب كل شيء حتى إذا فرحوا بما أوتوا أخذناهم بغتة وهم لا يظلمون.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about some set of people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us out of this people. Because at times Allah can do this istidraj. So deceiving you with some blessings that you will think that this thing is barakah, but really it's not. Allah says, فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ
فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ.
When they forgot the reminder of Allah, when they forgot Salah, they said, we are not observing Salah, we are too busy with this, our business and the likes. We don't have time for Allah.
فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ.
When they have the opportunity of having a first class job or first class white collar job, you know, mostly they would have put down some rules that perhaps you have to remove your beard, perhaps there is no time for Salah until so at the evening you are piling everything up together and the likes. So mostly, if you are not very, very careful, that is why you will see that the people that are very wise, they are the ones that will choose between the deen and that job. The job that you know apparently that this will take you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there's no barakah in it. Even if you have the contract, you have a lot of benefit from it. Since Islam is not in it, then there's no barakah. Allah says,
فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فتحنا عليهم أبواب كل شيء.
In this it, Allah says, فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. And we open for them abwab. You know, abwab is doors. That is plural of bab. Allah says, not just only one door of income. فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ.
فتحنا عليهم أبواب كل شيء.
The doors of every success, according to him, he thought that this is success. The doors of every success Allah will create for him. Contract from here, from there, job from here. But that job is actually taking him away from Allah. حتى
إذا فرحوا بما أوتوا أخذناهم.
No. So until they were rejoicing with what they have been given. أخذناهم بغتة فإذا هم مبلسون.
أخذناهم بغتة فإذا هم مبلسون.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them shockingly, because Allah will not inform an individual when the time has come. Allah will just hold you بغتة فإذا هم مبلسون. When they are swimming in their rejoice that Allah has done this or that. So this thing has no barakah. When you acquire or you amass the wealth in this life, when deen is not there, then there's no barakah in it. That is why when you look at the story in Surah Al-Sad, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, there is something that is very, very important. You know, if Allah talks about the story, it's for us to learn from. You know, Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah has blessed him with virtually all the worldly things, in terms of power, in terms of wealth, in terms of wisdom, virtually everything. But Shaitan also comes to deceive Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam with one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. Allah says, إِذْ عُرِضَ عَلَيْهِ بِالْعَشِيِّ الصَّافِنَاتُ الْجِيَادُ
إذ عرض عليه بالعشي الصافنات الجياد.
So, when they brought to Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam الصَّافِنَاتُ الْجِيَادُ, very, very strong horses, because during that time, what they use as a means of transportation is horses, like having like a jeep or latest car now, something like that. When they brought to Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam الصافنات الجياد
فقال إني أحببت حب الخير عن ذكري حتى توارت بالحجاب.
And he was amazed because he was the one that overtook Dawood alayhi salatu wasalam, who was his father. When they brought this excellent Safinatul Jiyad, this horse is very shiny one, that's very expensive one, he was amazed looking at them that, wow, all these are for me, only me, all these are benefits of Allah. But he now says, حتى توارت بالحجاب.
حتى توارت بالحجاب.
So, he did not observe, according to the Tafseer, they said he was so amazed to the extent that حتى توارت بالحجاب. He did not observe Salatul Asr, or we say Salat that is equivalent to Salatul Asr in their own time. He did not observe it until the time of that Salat has gone. So he was, at times when you buy a new phone, just very brand new, or you start pressing it, all this. So at times you will be carried away. When you buy a new car, that's when you set standard that I cannot be observing Salat in that mosque anymore. I have to move to London to observe my Salat. So one should be very, very careful when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done something beneficial for you. And he said,
ردوها علي فطفق مسحا بالسوق والأعناق.
Then Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, ردوها علي. These are the causes of denying me to observe Salatul Asr. ردوها علي. Send all the horses back to me. فطفق مسحا بالسوق.
فطفق مسحا بالسوق والأعناق.
Then he started killing all the horses. He killed all of them. Why? Because these horses did not allow me to observe Salah. Those are the people that will think easily. When you have a job and they say, there is no Salah, and some will, and we should be very, very careful getting fatwa from the scholars around. You see about that will tell you that Abdur-Rahman تبيح المعذورات. It will give you darura. So, subhanallah, for not observing Salah, then the devil will bring you. And people say, so he was able to kill now, and you will continue like that. That is istidraj. So when you have that wealth from that job, Allah will not put back. So where we actually explaining is that the last tabarak alladhi nazzala al-furqana ala abdihi liyakuna lil-alamin nadhira.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Exalted to Allah, or blessed is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has sent down the Furqan, who has sent down the book. Al-Furqan, the mana Al-Quran. So why is it called Al-Furqan? It's simply because it segregates between the shirk and tawheed. If you want to know the difference between Tawheed and Shirk, then you come to the Furqan. You read the Quran. It will give you very clear picture of this is Tawheed and this is Shirk. Theoretically and practically. Practically in the sense that Allah will give us the story. In fact, virtually, when you look at virtually all the story of the messengers of Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in the Quran, they were telling us about Tawheed. The story of Musa and Pharaoh is about what? It's about Tawheed in practical. In practical. The story of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam and his people is about Tawheed in practical. So that we can learn from them. So Furqan is a book that separates between the Shirk and Tawheed, and also between truth and falsehood. If you are looking for the truth, then you have to read the Quran. That is what you will see. Most of the things that is actually causing the retrogression of our religion, especially Islam, in this and Nigeria, is because of poverty. Poverty. When you see people saying, I'm not doing Islam, it's because of poverty. They were just giving him something like, just to entice him. In the Western world, you will see that Islam is growing faster. Because immediately you are connected with the Quran, you will know the truth. You will know. Because there is no poverty. You know what you are actually looking for. When you open the Quran and you read it, even the English version enough, then other questions you can ask the scholar. That is in one of the surah, is it not surah? I've forgotten the name of the surah, but the unbelievers, they warn the people that وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَا تَسْمَعُوا لِهَذَا الْقُرْآنِ.
وقال الذين كفروا لا تسمعوا لهذا القرآن والغوا فيه لعلكم تذكرون.
Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the kuffar, they will warn their people that, come, لا تسمعوا لهذا القرآن. Don't listen to that Quran. Don't listen to that Quran. Because they knew the consequence of listening to the Quran. Automatically, you will accept Islam. When you listen to the Quran, automatically, you have to accept the truth. Listen, لا تسمعوا لهذا القرآن. Don't listen to the Quran. Rather, while you go فيه, just start making fun. Something that is not, just start out talk that is not necessary. Distract the people from the Quran. Because if you do not do this, the power of the Quran, the light in the Quran will naturally overwhelm you. It will conquer you naturally because Allah has sent down that Quran to serve as light. Allah even calls it light in the Quran. فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. Believe in Allah and the Messenger. وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. So Al-Furqan is one of the names of the Quran. One of the names of Quran too is also Al-Kitab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Baqarah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ.
ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Part of the names of the Quran is also An-Nur. Like I said, فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. So, and some other names like that the scholars have mentioned. So, Furqan is the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down for us so that we'll be able to know or to differentiate between the falsehood and the truth. If someone is there, but unfortunately, the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that this thing is the right thing that we'll be able to differentiate, hardly you will see Muslims that have connection with the Quran. Because Quran, you have to know it to be able to read it. If you cannot read the Quran, you are missing out. Someone who cannot read the Quran, I have someone after completing his BSc, So he wants to start masters and the likes. And he was complaining that, Ustadh, I want to know this Quran. He cannot join Abada together. But you have the opportunity. You want to go for masters. So why can't you? Because it's good. I'm not saying that you cannot go for masters, but at least you should give preference to what is important first. You will see people after completing ICANN, master, PhD and the likes, and when you look at their knowledge in terms of the deen, it's zero. You only see the Quran, that thing that's supposed to be guide for you as light, so that you can be able to differentiate between the falsehood and the truth. They just put it at the back of the car, or some at the front, or some they put the Quran at by the side of the pillow if they want to sleep. No, that's not the essence of the Quran. Allah says the essence of the Furqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it ala abdihi. Allah revealed it to his servant. And the servant here is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another thing that we are going to learn from this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do the idafa of Abdu to himself. And we call this idafa to tashrif. Allah says, ala abdihi. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Furqan to his servant. This is idafa to tashrif. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls anyone to himself, or trying to affiliate an individual to himself, that thing will have a very high prestige. That is why you see people say, you are not servant of Allah, you are not servant of God, you are the servant of God. They don't know what that actually means. But they prefer to be servants of the government, civil servant. When you say, I'm a civil servant, we say that with pride, I'm a civil servant. But you cannot say it with pride that you are we are probably saying that we are servants of God. In fact, that is the biggest or the zenith of recognition in the sight of Allah. When you are servant of Allah, because that is offer alone that we are Abdullah. That one alone, because the more an individual is, when you have prestige, anything that is affiliated to you will also share the same prestige. For example, when we have houses, when you say Baytullah, the house of Allah, we have made the offer of that house to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that house becomes what? Honor the house automatically, because we have attached it to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we say we are servants of Allah, we should be proud of that. In fact, that is even the peak of recognition and the peak of our prestige. So let's say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the Furqan ala abdihi. Allah sent it down to his servant Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For what purpose? Allah will not just send down books just for us to be carrying it around. Allah says, لِيَكُونَ لِلْعَالَمِينَ
لِيَكُونَ لِلْعَالَمِينَ نَذِيرًا.
So Allah sends down the book, لِيَكُونَ لِلْعَالَمِينَ نَذِيرًا, so that this book will be for the universe. Because al-alam, when you give it the lam fatha, it means ma khala Allah. That's meaning of al-alam. Al-alam means everything minus Allah. That's meaning of al-alam. So you may not be able to comprehend all of that. At least what we can comprehend, perhaps what we can see, maybe the human being, the jinn, the animals, the plants, and the lights, and some other things. Because al-alam signifies every other, including the angels and the devils. That's al-alam. That's what it is. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of everything, the whole universe, everything. Then al-alam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِيَكُونَ لِلْعَالَمِينَ نَذِيرًا, meaning that Quran is not only for human beings alone. Quran is for us human beings, at the same time is also for the jinn too. Because these are the two notable beings that we can identify among the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Especially, they are the two species that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the at-taklif, that is obligation of worshiping Him. As for the angels, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not made this, Allah has created them in such a way that they will naturally or programmedly they'll be worshipping Allah. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created them. But as for human beings, Allah has given us the free will. We have the choice. That is why that Quran is serving as nadhira for us, as warning. Quran comes as warning because the angels, though Quran will also serve them because they also read the Quran too. But it's not nazir for them. The nazir is basically for human beings and the jinn. Because the angels, naturally, they will obey Allah. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. As for human beings, we are the one that usually disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the jinn. So Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed it so that it will serve as warning for the whole mankind. And that is why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, there is nobody among the people of the book, Yahudiyan or Nasraniyan, either is a Jew or is a Christian. Then he has the opportunity of listening to the message of Islam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent me with. Then after that, he did not believe in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent me with. He says, Illa kana min ashabin nar. Except that we will end up being among the people of hellfire. From the belief of a Muslim is that you should know that anyone that dies on any other religion apart from Islam, part of the belief is that we have to believe that the person is an inmate of hellfire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said it clearly, لم يكن الذين كفروا
من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة.
So this is part of the bayinah. حتى تأتيهم البينة. When the bayinah, that explanation of the book, warning them that this is the right path, this is the wrong path. So when that bayinah has come to them, and after that they remain adamant, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in another verse in the same surah, إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب
إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية.
So after the message, you know that at the beginning of the verse Allah says Bayina, there's the explanation of the book, explaining to them this is the right thing. So after that, if they did not believe, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concludes. So أولئك أصحاب
خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية.
Allah says they will automatically, so we don't need to plead. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has concluded. There is no pleading. So Allah says أولئك أصحاب أولئك هم شر البرية, and these are the worst of mankind. So that is for the people of the book. What about we that we are believers too? Because al-ibratu bi umum al-lafzi la bi khusus al-sabab. So it's not that we are talking about the people of the book only. What about we that we are saying we are Muslims? When we believe in a portion of the book and we disbelieve in some of the portions of the book. So we too, as a Muslim, anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Quran, then automatically we don't have option except that, you know what, we have to believe in them. And what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has also explained in the Quran, then it is compulsory that we have to believe in them so that we will not be among the Ahlul Kitab wal Mushrikun. Now, let it go.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض ولم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك وخلق كل شيء فقدره تقديرا.
Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proceeds in the second verse. So after He has made us to know that the book is actually sent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from any other person. When you look at other books, so perhaps even if they are heavenly sent books like the Injil and Torah, so presently they have been distorted. But as for Quran, Allah has promised that لا يأتيه الباطل من بين يديه ولا من
لا يأتيه الباطل من بين يديه ولا من خلفه تنزيل من حكيم حميد.
Now, as for other books, the Injil, Torah, and the likes, in their pure revelation, so they were still like that. But presently, the one that is people are using now, reading around the Bible, the Old Testament, and the likes, so they have been distorted. But as for Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised to preserve it. That's what I said, لا يأتيه الباطل من بين يديه ولا من خلفه. No falsehood. Because that is the essence of the Quran. Quran is to guide you to the right path. So if Allah has allowed falsehood to enter from it, then that is the mushkila. Allah says, لا يأتيه الباطل.
لا يأتيه الباطل من بين يديه ولا من خلفه.
No falsehood will come to the Quran, will happen to the Quran, min bayni yadayhi, either before it, wala min khalfihi, or after it.
تنزيل من حكيم حميد.
So it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that revealed the book by himself. It's not from any other person. So that is for you to be addressed that this book is the book of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah says, الَّذِي لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض.
So perhaps if you don't know this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are talking about, Allah continues to explain further about himself. That revealing the book is even very, very easy. الَّذِي لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. This Allah is the one that has the dominion, the control of the heavens and the earth. Everything that is in the heavens, Sabah Samawat and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that is controlling them. In the verse in Surah Luqman, I think, Allah says He created the heavens without pillars. There is no pillar. When you look at the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll be amazed. And the mulku of that heaven is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن الله يمسك السماوات والأرض أن تزولا.
إن الله يمسك السماوات والأرض أن تزولا ولئن زالتا إن أمسكهما من أحد من بعده إن الله غفور إن الله عزيز غفور.
Allah says, if you cannot comprehend it, just look at it without pillar. Allah, إن الله يمسك السماوات والأرض أن تزولا is by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He holds the heavens and the earth and tazula to fall upon you. There is no pillar in it now. It has no pillar. It can fall at any point in time. But in Allah, Yumsiku is the one holding them with His power and tazula to fall upon you. Okay, wala in zalata. If they should fall upon you, in amsaka umma min ahadin, is there any other person that can hold them if they are about to fall? Is there any other person that can hold them that high? Which pillar do you want to go and hold? At where? So وَلَئِنْ زَهْلَتَ إِنْ أَمْسَكَهُمَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنْ بَعْدِ. Is there anyone that can hold it? Something that has no pillar. So where exactly do you want to go and stay to go and hold it so that it won't fall? Do you want to climb the heavens? You cannot reach it. And there is no pillar. That is why you will appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah says, لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, the control and the dominion of the heavens and the earth, everything are in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some months back, so earthquake happened in Turkey. Though some people may attribute that they said the engineer constructed very feeble construction and the likes. So all these are just part of causes. But the real thing is that everything is in the control of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even those that constructed very strong giants with strong foundation, building and the likes, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants earthquake to happen, it will just happen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has the control of everything. And this verse that is very close to us, Allah said, Amin to man fis sama.
أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بهم الأرض أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور.
If you don't follow the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah wants you with Furqan and you are rebellious, you are not taken to the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is Amin to man fis sama. So you are okay, you are calm that the one in the heaven and yakhsifa bikum al-arda fa idha hiya tamur. So it can cause the earth to swallow you. And yakhsifa bikum al-arda fa idha hiya tamur. While you are just walking on the way, am amintum man fi sama am yursila alaykum hasiba.
Am amintum man fi samai an yursila alaykum hasiba. فستعلمون كيف نذير.
So this is the same Nadhir al-Alamin Nadhira. This warning, if you are not heed to the warning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah can also cause very great punishment to happen to you from the heavens. So we have to understand the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has the dominionship of the heavens and the earth. Then Allah continues. Allah has given us the rububiyyah. All these are parts of Aqidah to rububiyyah. Because if someone believes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the heavens and the earth and the lights, he has not become a believer. That is the first level. Because the Tawheed has 3 levels. As we said that the Surah Al-Furqan is Surah that combines about Tawheed and some other etiquettes of Islam. So this believe that Allah created the heavens and the earth and the lights, all these are part of Aqidah to Rububiyyah. Even the Shaitan knows that. Pharaoh, he knows that. But that has not made them to be what? To be believers. So, but we as a Muslim, we have to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one in charge of the heavens and the earth. At the same time, we have to worship Him. So, the real aspect of Tawheed is Tawheed al-Ibadah, that is by worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah says, وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا.
وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا.
As part of the first plea, especially the Christians, they claim that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a son. And this is one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has rejected in the Quran, in different verses of the Quran. This is another verse here in Surah Al-Furqan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rejects it. Because there are some attributes that we as human beings, that is why when you learn Tawheed, you will understand that sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are some sifat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shares, or let's say that we share with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has knowledge, we also have knowledge. But we will never compare our knowledge with the knowledge of Allah. isn't it? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has power. Allah also created us with what? With power. In fact, there were some people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in the past. Allah described them with ashaddu quwwa. They had power, they were very, very strong. So Allah has power, they also have power. But the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is supreme. However, there are some attributes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want us to attribute that to him. We as human beings will rejoice that I have a child. In fact, if someone does not have a child, that can be, in fact, it's one of the painful or the most painful thing that can happen to an individual. If someone does not have money, you may think that there's no problem, he continues his life. But married couple without child, subhanallah, in fact, mostly it ends up in divorce. That we are married for almost 5 years, 10 years, and there's nothing to show for it. And the next thing they opt for is to prevent divorce, so you go and seek for another spouse. We human beings, we take pride in children. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا.
المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا.
So wealth and children, that is part of the beauty of the world. So we take pride in them. But as for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is opposite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not negate any son. Allah does not have any son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala modifies this. وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no child. As the unbelievers, especially the Christians, they attributed to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he has a child. In Surah Al-Tawbah too, Allah talks about the Ahlul Kitab, to Christians and the Jews. Allah says, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ
وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى الْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُم بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ يُضَاهِئُونَ قَوْلَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِن قَبْلُ قَاتَلَهُمُ اللَّهُ أَنَّىٰ يُؤْفَكُونَ.
Allah talks about the Yahud. Allah says, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ. So, the Yahud, they claimed, or they say that Uzayr is the son of Allah, Ibn Allah. وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى
وقالت النصارى المسيح ابن الله.
As for the Christians, they attributed Isa al-Masih, the Messiah. They said, is the son of Allah. So all this is only for them to have an avenue for shirk. All these people, apparently, they are actual servants of Allah. Uzayr was one of the prophets of Allah. Isa والسلام, too was among the prophets of Allah. They were good servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they attributed the two of them to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that they can have opportunity to do shirk. So that is why when they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has this, indirectly they want to take that thing as an object of worship. From the Sufiya to you will see the Sufi, when they attributed a special thing to their shaykh, so indirectly there will be, you have among them, if anything is about to happen, instead of calling upon Allah, they say what? Some will say yes.
Yes.
Like the way the Christian will say Jesus. What is the difference? They shout yes. They are, they are attributing these people to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a purpose, because they want to commit shirk. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Many of them, they are not on the right path. Some of them, Allah just guide them, because the bedrock of this thing is because they don't have the basic knowledge of Tawheed. What the Christians are doing, what the Jews are doing, they are also doing the same thing. Attributing their shirk to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the end of the day, they will be calling them indirectly. In fact, you will see some people having the very big picture of our shaykh in their room. The same way the Christians, almost the same thing. Same way you see the Christians too have a very big picture of Holy Mary or Jesus in their homes, bowing for them. Bowing for them. These people too that have the picture of Sheikh Yes, it's not just ordinary picture. They will pray towards them, towards the picture, as if Allah is in your prayer, is in your front. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا. So, and we should be very, very careful regarding revering our shirk, because most of these people, they fell into this error out of excessive love for them. Uzair people is because of excessive love, but wow, this is an individual who could provide for us Tawrat offhand, reading it offhand, all the verdicts. So they thought this one is not likely to be ordinary individual. Why? Is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about Uzair in Surah Al-Baqarah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him to die for 100 years, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now raised him after that. So when he got to the city, the people of the book, they have forgot a lot in the Tawrat, and he was the one giving them the verdict, almost virtually everything that has happened years ago, the stories, a lot of things. They were amazed that, oh, wow, this one can never be just ordinary human being. Then, out of excessive love, they took him as what? As the Son of God. The same thing applicable to these people. Even though they were doing that upon ignorance. They thought that, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create an individual without a father. That's why Allah responded to them that أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها.
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها.
Because the thought that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created an individual without a father, miraculous birth and all this, and because of that amazement and the excessive love, let's take this man as what? As the Son of God. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to them that if this is amazing to you, أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاءُ بَنَاهَا. Are you human beings that are difficult to create? You that you just, in fact, in terms of magnificence, how many are? Look at yourself. You are not big. You just ordinary individual like this. So, in terms of mightiness of something, look at the heavens and the earth. Allah now responded, if you are amazed regarding the creation of Isa, Jesus, alayhi salatu wasalam, أأنتم أشد خلقا
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها.
Are you the one that is difficult to create? أم السماء بناها. All the heavens, banaha, we spread it, spread it from almost part of the world. You will see the heavens like this, banaha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spread it like that. You just be looking at it like, wow, you'll be amazed by the creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if Allah can create that one, so which one? This one is very, very simple. Very simple. And Allah has created something that is even more difficult than that. إن مثل عيسى
مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم خلقه من تراب ثم قال له كن فيكون.
Allah responded to the Christians because they thought, Allah has created him, marvelously, miraculously. Even in مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم. Even between Adam and Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, who is more difficult? Who? Adam or Isa? It's more difficult to create among the two of them. Apparently, it's Adam, because Adam has no father, no mother. At least, Isa, alayhi salatu wasalam, he has a mother. In fact, even the creation of Hawa is even more difficult than the one of Isa, alayhi salatu wasalam. It's more difficult because Hawa, Allah created him from Adam, alayhi salatu wasalam. And we know that ordinarily, male cannot ordinarily produce. Female, we know ordinarily they can give birth. So, the creation of Adam is even more difficult, or most difficult, and the Hawa is more difficult. So that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, that Allah just said, okay, there is no father. What's the big deal there? Allah says, إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم. The example of Isa in the presence of Allah, كمثل آدم. It's just like Adam.
خلقه من تراب ثم قال له كن فيكون.
Allah created Adam from turab, from sand, from clay. ثم قال له كن فيكون. Allah just said, be and it be. That's how. Even the creation of Isa is not far from us. Allah talks about it in Surah to Maryam. إذن تبدت in Surah to Maryam. إذن تبدت إلى أهله مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا. Now, she was in the place of seclusion, worshipping Allah. Then a man just appeared. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. We just saw a man, not in angelic form. Then she said, إِنِّي أَعُوذُ بِالرَّحْمَنِ مِنْكَ
إن كنت تقيا.
And she said that, I seek Allah's profession, the most merciful, from you in kunta taqiyya. So meaning that perhaps this is likely to be from shaitan. And the scholar said, if actually that person appeared in the shaitan, they will not be able to do anything, it will disappear. But because that person appeared is actually sent from Allah. When he said, A'udhu billah, inni a'udhu bir-Rahman min kunta taqiyya, the man was still there. Because he was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, إِنَّمَا أَنَا رَسُولُ رَبِّكِ.
وقال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا.
Don't be panicked, just calm down. إِنَّمَا أَنَا رَسُولُ رَبِّكِ. I am only the messenger from your Lord. لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. To give you the glad tidings of what? غلاما زكيا. A righteous boy, a righteous servant of Allah. So that is the story of, in fact, all these are not in the Bible. That is why Quran, this is just the Quran. When you have it, you have virtually everything that you get in all aspects of your life. Be it mundane, be it spiritual, be it almost virtually everything. When you have the Quran, you have the guide. Wallah, you have the guide. So that is just the summary. Allah says, وَلَمْ يَتَّخِذْ وَلَدًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not begotten any son at all, as the people claim that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has. And also because of this, in Surah to Maryam, I think, in the same surah, close to the last part of the surah, Allah says, even the heavens were angry. So you should not be comfortable. If heavens and the earth can be angry just because they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a child, so you too as a Muslim too, whenever you hear that, you should not be comfortable. You should not be comfortable. So you have three choices. Either you correct it verbally immediately if you can speak. If you cannot, at least you have to reject it in your mind. It's not that for God so loved the world and all this that you know. So you as a Muslim, you have to reject that totally. In fact, most of the children that used to go to Christian schools, there are some parents, they thought that the Muslim schools are not up to standard. That they are not up to standard. Their toilet is not good. They don't, and the English teacher is this and that. They have different excuses just to put them in this, and those people, they will not tell you now. You yourself, you are the one that bring your child here. So there's no problem. Automatically they will be feeding him or her this ideology of Christianity. And the first thing is the Trinity, and for them to know that Jesus is the Son of God, that is the basis. There is no child that will attend the Christian school that will not know that Jesus is the Son of God. In fact, they will also instill in their memory for them to have it at the back of their mind and to be happy that they are children of God. I mean, that's the case. That do you want to be servants of God or children of God? If you are not servants, that's why you're still there in the Christian schools. We are not servants, we are not slaves. We are children of God. And ordinarily, to a very small boy that has no background, if they present the two to you, that do you want to be servant or you want to be child of someone, what will you choose? What? You prefer to be child now. That is why we should be very, very careful. Don't let us be deceived by all these at least take them to Muslim schools. You can now, if the Muslim schools are not up to standard, then you can polish it. You engage other tutors and the likes to polish it, rather than taking them to Christian school. In fact, most of the parents today, they are regretting, because this child will come back home and start, arguing with you with biblical evidences that you cannot even refute, except if you are a scholar. They will be, okay, ordinarily, if they even ask you ordinarily that, which one will you choose out of being a child or a servant? You prefer being a child now, a child of God, than being a servant of God. If not that you understood that being a servant of God is so let's be careful, because this is the bedrock. If we don't give them the sound aqidah now, and things has come worse, that's when you now be looking for Tafseer school. That Ustadh, please, I want this boy to memorize the Quran, to know Tawheed. A boy that has been brainstormed, in fact, nurtured with biblical subhanallah. In fact, some are even just named Muhammad. All the system in him. The system in him is Christian programming. They have installed a lot of Christian application on their system. A lot. So we should be very, very careful as a parent. Please, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased with this thing. That is why immediately Allah says, lahu mulku samawati wal ard, that he has the dominion of the heavens and the earth. The next thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, walam yattakhidh walada. That means it's not something that you can play with. Allah says immediately, walam yattakhidh walada.
Walam yattakhidh walada.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no child. Allah begets no child. Walam yakun lahu sharikun fil mulk.
ولم يكن له شريك في الملك.
In the mulk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the dominion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, controlling the heavens and the earth, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ شَرِيكٌ. There is no partner that is assisting Allah. They say, okay, since Allah is not around, so this is the person that is assisting Allah. In fact, Allah has not shared anything. Because I was explaining today that some of the beliefs of some people, they believe that everything good is from Allah. But those ones that are like dead In fact, I've met a Christian before. He told me apparently, he said, do you think is God that is killing people? You know, all these things ordinarily, they are looking rational, but they are not. He said, do you think it's God that? No, it is not God. It is Satan. Shaitan that is killing people. I said, okay, no problem. I will prefer that God should kill you. And Satan should kill you. He said, no, there's no problem. If you say it's God that is not killing people. So, they believe that indirectly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sharing it. So, Allah is in charge of this. So, in terms of killing, accidents, bad things, evil things, they say no, it's Shaitan that is in charge. In fact, some people believe that there are some things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not even involved in them. If you want to have money, you want to establish yourself in terms of economic advancement, Allah is not involved. So far, you are seeking something good for yourself. You can do it in any way you like. Dáadáa lèmi fẹ́ ṣe mo sì lọ bá àfáà kó bá mi wò ó kódà mi ìpààyàn mi ìṣàbúrú ọkọ̀ bá mi wo iṣẹ́ wo ni ó máa dáa fún mi láyé tí ma fi là ó parí, just to take it for me. They believe that Allah is not in charge of all this. All this one are too petty for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have time for them. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah says, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُمْ شَرِيكٌ فِي الْأَمْرِ. In his dominion, in his control of the affairs of the world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La sharik. There is no partner, either assisting Allah. In Surah Mu'minun, Allah talks about something. Allah says, مَتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ وَلَدٍ
ما اتخذ الله من ولد وما كان معه من إله إذا لذهب كل إله ولعلى بعضهم على بعض سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون.
So inshallah, as time is approaching, so we summarize everything here. This verse. Allah says, مَتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ وَلَدٍ. Allah has not begotten any son. وَمَا كَانَ مَعَهُ مِنْ إِلَهٍ. And there is no other God like assistant that is assisting Allah. Allah says, either, if that is be, لَذَهَبَ كُلُّ إِلَهٍ بِمَا خَلَقَ. Because in the natural way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created an individual is that when you have a partner, you will have at times misunderstanding. At times you have different opinions. He says, if it were to be, لَذَهَبَ كُلُّ إِلَهٍ بِمَا خَلَقَ.
لَذَهَبَ كُلُّ إِلَهٍ بِمَا خَلَقَ.
Each of the gods will have preferred to hold what he created. That, okay, Allah, you are the one that created heavens. I created earth. So, hold your heaven, let me hold my earth. Or you are the one that created sun. I created the moon. You hold your moon. So that is territory. Everyone that is in authority will want to establish his own territory. Allah says, لَذَهَبَ كُلُّ إِلَهٍ بِمَا خَلَقَ وَلَعَلَى بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. And if not be, one of them will have overthrown another one. Because that is the natural way of the people in authority. So Allah says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, amma yushrikun. So Allah says, وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا.
وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا.
Allah says, فَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. Allah created everything. وَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا. And Allah gives it balanced measure. So everything is perfectly measured. So from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing that you will see from the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has defects. That is why Allah says, when you look at the heavens, ثُمَّ ارْجِعِ الْبَصَرَ كَرَّتَيْنِ يَنْقَلِبُ إِلَيْكَ الْبَصَرُ خَاسِئًا وَهُوَ حَسِيرٌ.
ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created everything. There is nothing that is existing except the created Allah. One of the things that people used to say that anything that is negative, they think they are not creatures of Allah, like the alcohol, for example, zina, kufru, shirk, and so on. All these things, they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you will fall in another hole or deep holes if you should have it at the back of your mind that all these are not created by Allah. Okay, if they are not created by Allah, who has created them? But Allah created them for a purpose. That is why we have Kawniyya and Shar'iyya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created some things that wants them to be like that for a purpose that is not clear to you, but they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What the Shar'iyya is that Allah does not want you to near them. Allah has created them for a purpose, not known to you. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated things that these things are created them, though you should not go near them. So everything that you can think of, they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, even to the extent that things that are made by an individual, like these phones now and the likes, so they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the Messenger of Allah says, Allahu khalaqa kulla sani wa sana'ati. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the manufacturer, kulla sani wa sana'ati, and what the manufacturer manufactured. So they are all created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, so we get to stop here. So information on Ali from Rashid.
Jazakumullahu khairan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward Ustadh and to also reward participants for having paid rapt attention. We'll take questions. If there are questions, we'll take just 2 questions. For the sisters upstairs, you can send your question down in written form. Say question what? Okay, in absence of questions, so we close the session. We can now proceed for our iftar. After we take, there are fruits available for the mu'takifin outside to break our fast. Then after Salatul Maghrib, we can proceed upstairs to have our full meal. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ẹ pa fídíò mi ń jẹun lónìí.